South Park has spent 27 seasons doing what it does best, destroying everything in its path. Every TV show, every trend, every sacred cow gets the treatment. But when Matt Stone and Trey Parker turn their attention to other animated sitcoms, it's different. It's personal. These aren't just jokes. They're full episodes dedicated to tearing apart the competition. That's why today, I'm breaking down the 12 most brutal times South Park absolutely roasted other TV shows, starting with one that changed animation forever, Cartoon Wars. Family Guy wasn't just competition. It was everything South Park hated about modern television, and they dedicated 2 entire episodes to destroying it. The 2006 two-parter Cartoon Wars didn't hide its target. Cartman literally tries to get Family Guy canceled. And the show spends 40 minutes explaining exactly why Family Guy's writing is lazy, predictable, and relies entirely on random cutaway gags with zero connection to the plot. They even showed Family Guy's writing process as manatees randomly selecting idea balls in a tank. Not writers, not creativity, just random combinations of pop culture references. But here's where it gets brutal. South Park wasn't just making fun of Family Guy's style. They were making a philosophical argument about comedy itself. The episodes present Family Guy as a threat to intelligent humor, as something that's training audiences to laugh at randomness instead of actual wit or satire. Kyle literally gives a speech about how important it is to be able to make fun of anything while simultaneously making fun of Family Guy for not having any standards at all. Or the meta-commentary goes deeper. By having the episodes revolve around the Muhammad controversy and censorship, South Park positioned itself as the defender of free speech while painting Family Guy as meaningless noise. They're saying, we take risks for important reasons. Family Guy just does whatever gets cheap laughs. Seth MacFarlane's response? He voiced a character in a later South Park episode where Cartman literally shoves food up his ass and craps out his mouth. That's how personal this got. The Simpsons already did it. Every writer's worst nightmare became South Park's entire episode. In 2002, Simpsons already did it, tackled something every comedy writer fears. The Simpsons has been on so long that they've literally done every joke already. When Butters becomes Professor Chaos and tries to come up with evil schemes, the boys keep pointing out that The Simpsons already did it, every single idea. Blocking out the sun? Simpsons did it. Cutting the head off the town statue? Simpsons did it. But this isn't just about joke theft. It's about creative exhaustion in the industry. South Park was 7 seasons in at this point, and The Simpsons was on season 13. The episode is genuinely asking, how do you stay original when the biggest show in animation history has been running for over a decade? Here's the twist. The episode isn't really an attack on The Simpsons. It's almost respectful. They're acknowledging The Simpsons' cultural dominance while also pointing out that maybe, just maybe, the show has been on too long. The joke isn't The Simpsons sucks now. The joke is The Simpsons has done everything, and that's actually a problem for everyone else. The genius move? Having actual Simpsons creators praise the episode. They knew South Park wasn't really roasting them. They were roasting the entire state of television comedy in 2002. But at least The Simpsons earned its legacy, unlike the next show that got absolutely demolished. Jersey Shore. South Park turned the entire cast into literal monsters. The 2010 episode, It's a Jersey Thing, didn't just mock Jersey Shore. It turned Snooki into a rat-like creature that the military had to hunt down, not a person. An actual beast that terrorized South Park and had to be stopped with coordinated tactical strikes. They made her so repulsive that the solution was luring her with a giant meatball sub and launching her back to New Jersey. Every stereotype got amplified to horrifying proportions. The tan became orange body paint. The hair gel became architectural structures. The gym tan laundry lifestyle became a spreading plague that infected Randy and turned him into a Jersey caricature who couldn't stop fist pumping and saying, "You got a problem with that?" But here's what makes this brilliant. South Park wasn't just saying Jersey Shore was bad television. They were treating it like an actual threat to American culture. The episode frames Jersey people as an invasive species that corrupts everything they touch. When Stan's mom reveals she's from Jersey, it's treated with the same horror as a zombie bite reveal. The real kicker? Snooki responded on Twitter saying she loved the attention and thought it was hilarious. Meanwhile, the episode got 12 million viewers, one of South Park's highest-rated episodes ever. They turned reality TV trash into must-watch television by making it literal trash. Duck President. South Park predicted the future and roasted HGTV in the same episode. The 2018 episode, The Problem with Apu, includes a plot where the town becomes obsessed with home renovation shows. Not just watching them, obsessed. People can't have normal conversations anymore because every discussion turns into debates about shiplap, open concept floor plans, and farmhouse sinks. The show specifically calls out how HGTV has created this weird cultural phenomenon where everyone thinks they're interior design experts because they've binged Fixer Upper. Randy starts talking exactly like a home improvement show host, are using phrases like, "It really opens up the space," and "We're going to take this wall down to create better flow." But South Park doesn't stop at mockery. They show how these shows have fundamentally changed changed how people think about their homes. Characters can't just live in houses anymore. Everything has to be a project. Everything has to have that HGTV aesthetic. It's not about shelter or comfort. It's about performing the lifestyle these shows sell. The genius detail? The episode aired in 2018, right as the home renovation show boom was at its absolute peak. Chip and Joanna Gaines had just ended Fixer Upper. HGTV was dominating cable ratings, and South Park said, "This is rotting your brains." They treated home improvement shows with the same contempt they give to actual propaganda, because in a way, that's exactly what they are. If you think home renovation shows are harmless, wait until you hear what South Park did to the entire streaming industry. Streaming wars. South Park took on streaming services by making them literal pirates fighting for territory. The 2022 two-part special, South Park: The Streaming Wars, wasn't subtle. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, and every other service got turned into competing pirate crews fighting over water rights in Colorado. But the show wasn't just making fun of how many streaming services exist. They were attacking the entire concept. The special shows how streaming has fragmented television into a nightmare where you need 7 subscriptions to watch everything you want. Cartman's plot about water rights becomes a direct metaphor for how streaming services are hoarding content. You want to watch Star Wars? That's Disney Plus. You want South Park? That's Paramount Plus. You want HBO shows? Good luck figuring out if it's HBO Max or just Max Now or whatever they're calling it this week. But here's where South Park gets personal. They're roasting their own platform. Paramount Plus is literally depicted as one of the greedy pirates in this scenario. South Park is calling out the company that distributes South Park. That's the level of "we don't care" they operate on. The special also mocks how streaming services cancel shows constantly, how they remove content without warning, and how they're all losing billions of dollars despite charging more every year. They predicted the streaming bubble bursting before it actually started collapsing in 2023. And the funniest part? The special itself is exclusive to Paramount Plus. They made you subscribe to the service they're roasting to watch them roast it. Fuck Frasier. No show was safe, not even the classiest sitcom of the 90s. In the 2009 episode Whale Whores, there's a throwaway joke where Stan's dad, Randy, keeps bringing up how much he hates Frasier. Not a parody, not a detailed takedown, just pure, random hatred for Frasier. Fuck Frasier appears on screen. That's the entire joke, but that's exactly what makes it perfect South Park. Frasier is sophisticated. It won 37 Emmys. It's critically acclaimed, intelligent comedy about a pretentious radio psychiatrist. And South Park just drops "fuck Frasier" in the middle of an episode about Japanese whaling and moves on. The brilliance is the randomness. There's no explanation, no reason. Randy just hates Frasier, and South Park doesn't need to justify it. It's the anti-Family Guy approach. Instead of cutting away to a 5-second unrelated joke, they just state the opinion and keep going with the actual plot. It's also a shot at prestige television. Frasier represents everything classy about 90s sitcoms. The Cheers spin-off that went highbrow, and South Park just dismisses it with 2 words. The joke worked so well that "fuck Frasier" became a meme in South Park communities. People still quote it, and Kelsey Grammer has never publicly responded, which somehow makes it even funnier. At least Frasier was a real show with real effort. The next target was something much worse: Honey Boo Boo. South Park turned reality TV exploitation into actual horror. The 2012 episode Raising the Bar featured Honey Boo Boo as evidence that American culture had hit rock bottom, not as a joke, as a legitimate argument. The episode shows James Cameron diving to the bottom of the ocean to literally raise the bar of society, and Honey Boo Boo is presented as the reason the bar sank so low in the first place. Here's what's disturbing. South Park treats the show. Here comes Honey Boo Boo as child exploitation. They're not wrong. The episode shows how reality TV has normalized putting children on television for entertainment, and how audiences consume it without questioning the ethics. Honey Boo Boo isn't the villain in South Park's version. The culture that made her famous is. But they don't stop there. The episode connects Honey Boo Boo to broader American obesity, stupidity, and the celebration of ignorance. When Cartman gets a mobility scooter because he's too fat to walk, he defends it by saying he's not as bad as Honey Boo Boo. The show is saying, this is what we've normalized. This is what we celebrate now. The meta-commentary gets darker when you realize here comes. Honey Boo Boo was actually getting massive ratings at the time. TLC was printing money off this family, and South Park said, "You should be ashamed for watching this." The show got canceled 2 years later amid serious family controversies. South Park called it early. Russell Crowe. South Park didn't just mock one show. They created a fake show to mock the entire genre. The 2002 episode The New Terrence and Phillip movie trailer features a subplot about a fictional show called Fightin' Around the World with Russell Crowe. It's a reality show where Russell Crowe travels the world, picking fights with random people. And it's perfect. South Park was parodying celebrity reality shows before they fully took over television. The episode aired the same year as The Osbournes, which proved audiences would watch literally anything if a famous person was involved. Russell Crowe's fictional show takes that to its logical extreme. Zero substance, just celebrity behavior as entertainment. But here's the genius. They made Russell Crowe so cartoonishly violent and stupid that the parody works on multiple levels. It mocks reality TV, it mocks celebrity culture, and it mocks Russell Crowe specifically for his reputation as Hollywood's angriest actor. In 2002, Crowe was known for getting into fights and throwing phones at people. South Park just amplified it. The show within a show format let South Park mock reality television structure itself. The dramatic music, the manufactured conflict, the coming up next hooks. They're teaching viewers to recognize manipulation while entertaining them. Russell Crowe never sued, which is probably smart. The episode predicted his career trajectory better than his agent did. But if you think mocking celebrity reality shows is brutal, wait until you see what they did to Star Wars. The Star Wars Special Editions. South Park dedicated an entire episode to how George Lucas ruined his own legacy. The 2004 episode The China Program features a scene where Steven Spielberg and George Lucas literally rape Indiana Jones. It's not subtle, it's not metaphorical. Cartman has a vision of Lucas and Spielberg assaulting Indy, and the episode treats it as a crime that needs to be stopped. But this isn't about Indiana Jones. It's about what Lucas did to Star Wars. The special editions added CGI to the original trilogy. Han shoots second now. There's a musical number in Jabba's palace. Hayden Christensen got inserted into Return of the Jedi. Every change made the movies worse, and Lucas kept making changes with every new release. South Park's argument is simple. Lucas violated his own creation. The original Star Wars trilogy belongs to culture, not just to Lucas. By constantly altering it, he's destroying something that meant everything to a generation. The rape metaphor is extreme, but that's the point. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable because what Lucas did should make you uncomfortable. Here's the kicker. The episode aired in 2008, right after Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull disappointed everyone. South Park wasn't just criticizing past decisions. They were predicting Lucas would keep making bad choices, and they were right. Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney in 2012. The fanbase still debates whether that was better or worse than letting him keep changing things. Duck Dynasty. South Park turned conservative reality TV into a literal duck hunt. The 2013 episode, Goth Kids 3, Dawn of the Posers, features a subplot about duck hunting that's clearly mocking Duck Dynasty without naming it directly. The show was everywhere in 2013. A&E was building an empire around this family of wealthy manufacturers who cosplayed as rural outdoorsmen. South Park's approach? They treated the entire premise as ridiculous. The episode shows how duck hunting isn't some authentic country lifestyle. It's entertainment for people who want to feel like they're participating in rural culture without actually doing any of the hard parts. But the real target is the authenticity myth. Duck Dynasty sold itself as Real America, when in reality the Robertson family are millionaires who grew beards for the show. South Park has always hated performative authenticity, and Duck Dynasty was performing harder than anyone. The episode also mocks how A&E marketed the show to conservative audiences as an alternative to liberal Hollywood. South Park treats both sides as equally stupid. The show isn't conservative or liberal, it's real or fake, and Duck Dynasty was fake. The controversy around Phil Robertson's comments about homosexuality came later in 2013, proving South Park's point about the show being manufactured culture war content. If manufactured reality shows are bad, at least they're not as bad as what South Park did to PBS. PBS remixes. South Park turned children's television into a drug-fueled nightmare. Multiple episodes have featured disturbing parodies of PBS shows. Imaginationland turned PBS Kids show characters into torture victims. Chicken Lover had Officer Barbrady learning to read with increasingly violent adult-themed parody books. But the ongoing joke is that PBS programming is so aggressively wholesome that it must be hiding something dark. The show particularly targets Sesame Street-style education format. In Cherokee Hair Tampons, there's a parody of educational television, where everything is explained in the most condescending way possible. South Park is saying, children's television treats kids like they're stupid, and it's training them to accept being talked down to. But here's where it gets interesting. South Park actually respects PBS more than commercial television. The jokes about PBS are affectionate compared to what they do to networks like Comedy Central, their own network, or MTV. PBS represents public television funded by viewers like you. South Park mocks the format while acknowledging it's better than the alternative. The drug references are the key. Multiple episodes suggest PBS shows are what you watch when you're high. Because of course they are. The pacing is slow, the colors are bright, and everything is explained carefully. It's accidental stoner television. PBS has never officially responded to any South Park parody, which is the most PBS response possible. The Jersey Shore Curse. South Park didn't just mock Jersey Shore once, they cursed the entire cast. After It's a Jersey Thing aired in 2010, something weird happened. The show's popularity peaked, and then everything fell apart. Snooki got arrested multiple times. The cast started fighting publicly. Ratings dropped. By 2012, the show was canceled. Coincidence? Probably. But South Park has a weird history of predicting or accelerating the downfall of things they mock. They roasted Paris Hilton in 2004, and her career never fully recovered. They mocked Scientology in 2005, and public opinion shifted permanently. The Jersey Shore episode was different because it was so brutal. Turning Snooki into a literal monster that needed to be destroyed wasn't comedy. It was character assassination. And when the episode got 12 million viewers, it shifted public perception. Here's what's fascinating. The cast members all claimed they loved the attention, but South Park didn't make them cool. They made them absurd. The episode stripped away any remaining credibility the show had as anything other than trash television. MTV tried to revive Jersey Shore in 2018 with Jersey Shore Family Vacation. It gets okay ratings, but it's not a cultural phenomenon anymore. South Park made sure of that. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, click the video on the screen now.